Hi everyone, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. I'm your host, Dr. Haider Shah. On behalf of Calvas, I would like to welcome all of you to this webinar. Thank you very much for joining us. Today we have another very interesting topic, and I'm really honored to welcome and introduce our distinguished guest speaker who is going to talk about writing research using ICT in education. So today we'll explore the exciting intersection of technology and education and how it's transforming the way we conduct and communicate research. So let's embark on this wonderful journey together. So indeed a great topic, and I'm sure you will learn a lot from this session because we have an expert with us in today's this session. So stay tuned because amazing stuff are coming ahead in this session. So before we start, I would like to thank Carlos for arranging such enlightenment sessions for their support and providing us such a wonderful platform. The aim of Carlos is to give you the opportunity to connect and interact with world renowned speakers, academic leaders, teachers, authors, researchers, experts, professionals, and businessmen to learn from their experiences, recommendations, and suggestions, which will create an impact and will enable you to learn and develop yourself in order to grow and transform individually, as well as to contribute to the world at large. As our slogan is come, learn, and share knowledge. So today we have amazing person with us as there is no need to introduce him because he is a most popular speaker on Khawas and he has appeared multiple times and he is great and generous enough that he's always agreed to share his knowledge and to come up with the contribution to the field and world. So as I say, he is my friend and brother. So please help me in welcoming our guest, Professor Dr. Fruilan Mobo. Once again, welcome to the Calvas platform and thank you very much for joining us, Prof.
Yes, good afternoon. Actually, it's afternoon here already in the Philippines. Good afternoon, my dear brother, my friend, Dr. Haider, Shah. Thank you for inviting me once again to this virtual platform. And this is really a wonderful opportunity for me to share, of course, my expertise in terms of research and other platforms that we'll be able to share in our community. So thank you for that opportunity, Doctor.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation, Prof. You are very kind. Thank you and over to you, Prof. Thank you.
Yeah, once again, good afternoon, my dear colleagues in the academy and researchers. So my task for today is about to deliver about a topic on writing research using informations and communications technology education. So this is very important, especially for us faculty in the academy and researchers, that it is really important for us to be aware of what's the role, of course, of the ICT. So before we start with the topic. Uh, Let me go with that. So, of course, ICT is frequently used in other areas. Of course, particularly in the field of research, that is to find relevant material online that can be used, for example, for peer review, for journal publications, for citations, and other purposes. Of course, the use of ICT in research plays a major role because it's a wealth of information that is a bank of library wherein it's readily available online on websites where whether you can download a particular platform to support your need, for example, by searching in a Google platform, in Google Scholars, and other platform or other database wherein you can use that part in your research avenue. So it's very important that the role of ICT or information communications technology is there to help authors and other researchers to easily to do our task as an author and as a researcher. And part of that, of course, the role of the ICT in research paper or in a manuscript facilitates on working on a large volume of databases. For example, what we're talking about here is when you conduct a series of literature review, or if you want to think of what particular topic you want to choose, you would be able to think searching for a particular topics in a library. But nowadays, even if you don't have a physical library, you can easily go to an internet connected device, whether you use your laptop or handheld devices. From there, it easy. It is really easy for us to do research because it helps in using different platforms in terms of communications and including online discussions. And part of it, it will be able enable students or pupils to develop better communication about certain topics, and you would be able to think and understand your ability to create a particular topics. For example, if you want to search for a particular topic on, for example, in the domain of social science or area of social science, we have lots of databases that we can choose, or best databases we can choose from the following. For example, you want to look on the database of Google Scholar. That is the popular part because it's a free database. You can also look in Dodge or the Directory of Access Journal. We have the JSTOR, the IBSCO or Scopus, Science Direct, the Claribits Web of Science, or even the PubMed, wherein you can search a lot of databases for research, wherein you can easily type the keywords and then you can easily get a particular, it's either it has an open access article wherein you can download easily. So what I'm telling you that the role of the information communications technology today in the field of research really helps us to facilitate in doing research, even in writing the thesis or dissertation. It's really easy for us because even you're at home, even if you do not visit physical library, it's still easy to manage to do a lot of research while you're using the technology of the ICT. So it really plays a vital role because you would be able to get information which is really reputable, which is really true, that can validate, of course, your that can support or justify your study when doing research. And it's really user friendly because you can just easily learn from it without doing in some several tutorial steps. It's easy to navigate, to click and drag to a particular platform in using the following databases in terms of doing research. For example, you go to Scopus database, you can search for a particular journal, you can search for a particular topic. For example, your keyword is social science or maritime studies. It's easy for us to navigate and look for a particular topic wherein it can fit to your expertise as a researcher. So what I'm telling here is that nowadays, the role of the technology is there. So it plays a major role for us authors that it's easy for us to include citations. You can be able to check your analytics in terms of uh, the number of authors who cited in your papers, and then uh, those impact factors that you can manage. For example, you want to check the impact factor in your Scopus account, the impact factor of your Google Scholars, or in the Web of Science. So it's easy for us to manage because of these databases wherein it's really visible today using the virtual platform. And of course, this database feature portion from books, of course, reputable books, academic journals, research papers, essays, and articles, wherein this will be coming, for example, in major publishers. For example, if we have the Springer, the Taylor and Groups, and other well-known publishers that they can share. Sometimes they have an open access wherein we can download or we can check the abstract or their paper, the paper of the authors, wherein we can easily cite. Because nowadays, if you browse a particular article, uh, the citation is there. It's readily available. It's in a format of MLA, Chicago, Turubian, or APA, wherein you can easily get it and you just copy and paste it to your article. So it's easy using the technology. So if you are a technology savvy, it's easy for you to learn to use the virtual platform or other platform wherein you can uh, uh, use it uh, in your research advocacy. So of course, finding the material you're looking for, it's easy for us. So you would be able to check, of course, visibly if the article is uh, true or authenticate, or if the journal is falls under the predators. It's easy for us because of these things that we can easily search in this uh, kind of databases, and you would be able to check if who are those renowned authors or speakers that who have contributed their research in this database. So some database include academic publications and certain topic or as a scholarly content, while others include articles from popular magazines. So these things really helps us. So it's easy because even if you have your mobile device, you can easily check the particular article that you want to read, and you want to cite if there's a need to cite it, or if there's a need to borrow or to use the particular questionnaire just to support your study. So the technology nowadays, even in across platform, for example, even you're using an Android applications or a another cross-platform, it's easy to be recognized by using this kind of platform. Even you're using an open journal system, it still can be read by the platform itself or the operating system of your mobile device or your laptop because of its uh, applicability or international standard to support the advocacy of us authors to do the particular in doing our research job. And part of it, research argues that the major role of the ICT research in education should be an important contribution to the understanding of the process of learning because especially during the time of pandemic, take note that uh, all the systems globally, it has been stopped or ceased temporarily. So without using this technology, I'm sure that we will not be able to continue our advocacy, for example, in doing our research or writing an article. But with the use of technology, we have been able to survive in doing a lot of research. And take note, during the time of pandemic, with the use of the technology and other virtual platform, a lot of research has been done and uh, they publish, especially in the topics of COVID-19. If you're going to check the library of Google Scholar, you will be able to see a lot of articles which was written during the time of 2020 and even up to the present because of the present ICT platform that helps during the time of pandemic. So it is important that the ICT plays a major role and its important contribution to understanding of the process of learning for us as a teacher and also as a student with a view to informing teaching strategies and approaches to developing educational software. For example, me as of now, I'm presently taking up my third master. So what we are using in doing research is we are using a lot of virtual, uh, a lot of platform or web-based wherein we can cite or get some literature review, or even we can check if our paper really meets the standard, the uh, standard if what is the plagiarism percentage on our paper. So you it's easy for us to detect if the paper's been well written. We have Grammarly and a lot of platform that can support our scholarly work. And part of it, it also offers a bibliometric matrix or analysis in order to examine the condition or state of your research activity that can carry out in relation to your communities based on using the platform. So these indicators can show steadily the growth of your paper. For example, what I'm talking about is the number of citations or the number of high index. Those things are very important. That's why we have came up with a lot of bibliometric analysis. For example, we have uh, the Google Scholar, the number of citations, and other databases, the JSR, the Scopus database. You would be able to check the bibliometric analysis and a lot of analysis database which can manage the number of citations, and they can also check if what is the standing of your country in terms of research, no, that can be categorized in, for example, if your institution is being ranked as top one in your country, so that's really good. Or what I'm talking about is a particular website or a platform which is the ad scientist, wherein it can readily display the bibliometric analysis coming from the data of for example, if that is coming from the JSR of WAS, the Web of Science, or from the Google Scholar, it can readily display the number of your uh, papers which is being published, being cited. So those things are really important because it will reflect that you are really doing good in terms of doing research. And nowadays, technology helps us, for example, in terms of doing accreditations, submissions of any kind of research. For example, we have the open journal system, the OJS. It's easy for us to submit, to detect if the paper has been accepted or it's been rejected. So using this platform, we can carry out that we are following certain international standard based on the COPE standards, or in other research institutions that that can comply with the international standard. And part of it, on the bibliometric, it can be coming from the author's share, citations, the number of publications. Of course, part of that, they can also check the performance of the journals, which is how many authors who have cited that, especially if you want to accredit in a particular database from a Scopus. The number one requirement for a journal to be indexed in Scopus is the number of the Scopus citedness coming from this bibliometric. So it's really important that using these metrics, we can easily check the standing of a particular journal, the number of the publication itself, the authors, which can be ranked accordingly, or the groups, or other way around that, which means that you're doing good in terms of writing your research. Because if your paper is not being recognized from other foreign countries or other authors coming from different places, there is a problem with you as a writer and as author, which means that your paper or your creative articles, which is not being patronized by authors coming from the research communities. It's very important that to be called as a writer or researcher, that you have to have a number of citations or contributions which is being cited, which is part of that. I already consider that as that is the impact factor. That, for example, if one evaluators ask you what is the impact factor of your research, you can say to them that you can check on my citations or on my research that it already reaches around thousands or around hundreds, which means that I already contributed a lot of things that should be cited that can justify other researches of other authors, which means that this platform, the ICT, plays a major role for us because it is easy for us to check whether the article is being plagiarized or if the data is being fraud. So we can easily check on it because the role of being visible and being transparent. And part of it, using the 21st century as part of our advocacy and advancement and the development, for example, in doing creative works, it's also part of, it can easy for us to collaborate. For example, with Dr. Haider, we can easily create a collaboration, no? Part of that, we can do a lot of numerous studies, various studies that we can do in a part of a multidisciplinary setup, and that can may improve, of course, that might be able to help, of course, the economy of each country in terms of synergizing a particular area in the field of research. For example, in the part of, if the paper is focused on the agriculture, that might be help in terms of how things can be fixed in terms of the processes and other things that can increase the effectiveness of doing those kind of processes because of the help of this kind of virtual platform. So the ICT infrastructures, if you're going to check it using the software, all the transactions, the hardware is being there readily. For example, the uh, presence of the artificial intelligence, the machine learning, really plays a vital role today. And a lot of websites are really, or company are really enjoying part of it because if there's a particular website supported with a particular artificial intelligence or machine learning, the viewer or the user can easily check or visit the website and can do transactions that can help them to verify, to validate anything because of the presence of the technology and also the data that we can easily get, and of course of the internet accessibility, and of course the of the cloud computing. So all of this ICT infrastructure is being strengthened, of course, during the time of pandemic and so on and so forth, because of the need of, or the demand, which is really important for us as a author, as a researcher, that would be able to help our economy not to downsize but to grow up, to boost up, especially that uh, we are now in the process of most likely what I can say is we are now on not on the recovery period, but we are on the part that we have already been recovered from that pandemic situation. So this platform really helps us a lot to do a lot of things in terms of uh, thinking of particular innovations or platform that can help our economy. So ICT, of course, not only in teaching, learning, and research, it plays a major part. So in the modern world, or in the 21st century of knowledge age, ICT plays an important role for the effectiveness of doing teaching, learning, and research. Or another way around is in the instructions, in the community extension, or doing a lot of things which is really we can advocate a lot of things in terms of research related mandates. And of course, internet is part of the learning process where we can easily uh, read articles that can help us to learn many things. That's why a lot of applications and websites are really useful in terms of uh, those three focal areas, especially in teaching, learning, and research, which can we easily use in our conduct of teaching, learning activities, or doing research. For example, the presence of YouTube and other technology platforms, it's really easy for us to use those as a medium of our references. And then part of that, it also promote the education systems of a country. For example, if you're going to categorize a particular country, if you belong on the first world country, which means that that country is really well developed because of the presence of the technology, and they're really advanced in terms of their preparations, in terms of their process, because of the presence of the technology. It really helps to promote, of course, the systems of educations, and also to help our economy to boost up. For example, of becoming uh, an advanced uh, using kinds of platform in terms of learning, teaching, and research. It can also manifest that we can prove that the benefits of a quality educations, or a spontaneous economy because of the use of technology. So without the use of technology, there would be no possibility that we will be able to achieve a particular common goal. Just like uh, how can a particular country or researcher can be ranked on the highest rank, or can be considered as a rank one on the ranking. So these technology platforms help us to do things which is really important as researchers, authors, or scientists. And part of it, it also help to relate school experience to work practices, to create, of course, to create economic viability for the particular uh, tomorrow's worker, as well as to strengthen the teaching and helping schools change. For example, we have suffered from the pandemic situations. Now, here we are. We are now doing the uh, new normal. So we have to face this impact which has been done during the pandemic. So the impact of technology is there. We're becoming more advanced because, for example, we can now conduct a virtual uh, webinar. We can conduct a hybrid conference. We can conduct online classes, just like what is going on in our country, in the Philippines. A lot of webinars or conferences or hybrid conferences being done because of the impact of technology, because of the pandemic situation that take place during the year of 2020. So it can change the world. Those who know how to use the technology in their business, that can create a world wherein it can easily be connected, and you can easily collaborate, just what happened during the time of pandemic, that situations open up a particular opportunity or a door to strengthen the collaboration from different countries. Just like I what happened to myself, I was able to collaborate with Dr. Haider, with IAU, with other research institutions, and we have been able to do a lot of research advocacy, for example, by sharing our skills, our knowledge to do research, just for the purpose of meeting the standard of how to do the right thing. In part of that, according to the authors of the following writers, claim that their paper on the technology in schools, education, ICT, and knowledge society, that education system would need to prepare citizens for lifelong learning in the field of ICT. So, which means that as citizen, we need to be prepared. Just like what happened during the time of pandemic, that situation really tested us that we are not ready yet. For example, in the Philippines, during that time, a lot of business closed down because of that situation. But there are some downsides and uh, positive impact that this pandemic took place. For example, by using the technology platform, it can continue the process of doing some advocacy in terms of doing business. And part of it, the technology to improve the student learning as a rationale for the investment. For example, uh, if you're going to check the modality of learning in the Philippines, if I'm not mistaken, another part of alternative learning is now considered is the online learning, which is part of the how can things help us in terms of doing an online learning. So, or other part is we can conduct hybrid conference in an international group, and then some computer systems can also be uh, manipulated and can be used in schools or in other organizations that can build on understanding to link, of course, organizations just to come up with a particular standards. And that process can be divided into two broad categories. That is on the part of ICTs for education and ICTs in education, which means that the institutions can benefit, and then another is that the researchers and authors can also benefit because they can collaborate, they can do research, and part of it, they will be able to learn new things. That the technology really helps us a lot to discover many things, which means that development of the ICT, specifically for teaching and learning, is really helpful for us because in the adoption of the general components of ICT technology in teaching learning process, it's really easy because a lot of things really uh, been uh, been developed. For example, the standard of education, we can conduct classes online, and I know that you will believe in me that we can conduct uh, classes online, for example, opening a program in a graduate school, we can use this as a part of possible online class or possible collaboration. So that is the main role of why the ICTs really plays a big role in education and also in research. And part of it, technologies can help revitalize, of course, teachers, student researchers, because that is to improve and develop the quality standards in terms of education and research and providing curricular support in different areas. So, for example, if you're in the field of social science or maritime, you would be able to achieve the mandate or standards that teachers need to be involved in collaborative projects. No, for example, in this virtual platform, maybe later we can have a collaboration with maybe with Dr. Haider, with other research institutions. It can open up another opportunity for us, researchers, authors, that can be part of an intervention that can change the system and that can change the strategies that would be uh, that can be would be have a positive impact or beneficial on both sides as in our institution or as a researcher, as a academician. So there are some necessary factors that might be beneficial to the teachers or as researchers, that If you believe in the effectiveness of technology, things will be better. Then if you're going to use technology, it will not cause any disturbance because it is really flexible for us. And it's really, you can do online research anytime using a technology platform, using devices. Other is that teachers should believe that they have the control over the technology because uh, they can give a time where they want to, for example, to conduct their study, to do research, to start, maybe you can start a business using the technology platform. So it will really help you to do this kind of endeavor. And another, ICT in the education settings, but it itself acts as a channel for change in this domain. Because with the what happened during the time of 2020, it really changed a lot of things in terms of education system. Okay? So we really need to adopt this kind of platform that can be beneficial on the part of the institution, education institution, on the part of the government, just to continue the process of having a part of collaborations. And part of it that can also support the encouragement and support independent learning. For example, I myself, if I want to uh, search for a particular topic, it's really ready to be downloaded in a particular database. And of course, some students using ICTs for learning purpose become more immersive because you can use augmented reality, virtual reality in terms of process of learning. As more and more students or researchers use computers as part of information resources and cognitive learning, because this one can act as a self-directed learning process where when we can learn from our own selves that if you're going to browse on a particular website, you will be able to know and to be aware that these are the following standards that we will be able to get by using the technology. And then take note that the technology and supporting how students learn will continue to increase. That's why, on my part as a researcher, the technology or the ICT plays a major role, and we can easily learn from it. For example, as a researcher, we should be aware that we should be uh, technology literate enough to know what is new in the using this platform. So if you're ICT literate, it's easy for us to adjust using virtual platform, using immersive learning, anything. It's easy for us. For example, if you want to click a button or you want to drag a particular icons, anything, it's easy for us because these things are very helpful because of the user friendly environment which is being developed by those developers, and those things are part of major innovation which is being done by not only developers by and also by some scientists. So the impact of the ICT, which is being part of a biggest achievement and motivation, that it's really helpful. Take note, in one of my research which I conducted during the 2022, it's being found out that the use of the technology in terms of readiness in an online learning setup really plays a major help because it's easy for the students to comply with the requirements as long as to check if the references are readily available to read to use as part of citation, and those are part of a statement that would appear to be self-evident or self-directed to achieve the specific goals using ICT in the field of research and education, which we can put into practice that it is really helpful for us to broaden our knowledge in using this kind of platform. For example, you want to know on what are the particular what is a reputable journal, who are those persons involved in a predatory activities. You would be able to search that on the Google search engine, and you will be able to find out that what I'm trying to say is that is there. It's existing and it's readable. You can easily check and browse anything coming from those resources. So which means that using ICT for simulations and modeling in science can also be helpful. Just just like what I'm trying to point out a while ago, that the use of the immersive learning using, for example, augmented reality and the virtual reality in doing research is also effective. For example, if you want to simulate a particular laboratory exercise in absence of a physical setup, especially during the time of pandemic, it's easy to navigate because most of user feels that using ICTs make more effective as a learner because of the process of doing self-directed. So both teachers, both and students feel that ICT use greatly contributes to the motivation for learning. That's why in one of my papers, which is being published about motivational strategies in doing research or using virtual platform, we find out that a lot of students really benefited from using the technology platforms. So students who use computers at home also use them in school more frequently and with more confidence that you're really uh, ready when you want to conduct classes, when you want to answer on a particular classroom discussions, or even if you want to conduct a particular interview or certain evaluation. So these things really help us to ensure that we are complying with the international standard. And part of it, it can also increase learners' autonomy for some certain learners because of the self-directed process wherein we can conduct research, we can uh, look for particular keywords in a research database. For example, using Google Scholar, you can simply type the keywords and you will be able to find out that there is always an available references wherein you can read and use that as part of your citations just to support your study. Because ICT's education in many cases are affected by the learner, of course, part of it. And we can use a lot of platform. For example, we can use Adobe platform, we can use the learning management system, we can use PowerPoint, and you can also track the performance of students based on their submissions. For example, what I'm doing in my third master's, we are using virtual platform, a learning management system wherein we can be able to monitor our submissions coming from our professors, whether we are late or we submitted advance. So which means that the use of the technology really plays a vital role, not only in research, but also in the education side. So if you're going to combine everything, it can uh, really help us to be more dynamic. And then part of it, for example, using a mind mapping software or a Google Map, really help us to uh, make things really smoothly if we're looking for a particular topics or if we are traveling. So anything can really help us to represent a particular information that can support the required conditions of a particular place and can be surrounded by connected branches of some multidisciplinary topics, which is really important for us. So, for example, this kind of computer system, where we compare, a lot of transactions can be done. So, it's something like some branches of a tree, wherein it is being interconnected to a main trunk, wherein it can uh, process the input, the process, and the output using this kind of mind map of a computer system. And part of it, it can also help students brainstorm doing the self-directed learning, and explore any idea or concepts or problem, and can also facilitate better understanding of relationships and connections between ideas and concept to a particular given topic. For example, if the topic is all about research, research not only stay in one place. There's a lot of things that we should study in conducting research, especially if majority of our differs from our specialization. So it allow students to easily recall information or it helps students like take notes and plan tasks which can be easy for us to recognize important concept. So it is very important that, for example, when we use a platform, a Cam Studio platform, we can be able to explain the activities which are being posted to our learning management system, and usually to explain how we do the performance, a feedback mechanism from students to your teacher. So it also provides value to students anywhere in the world with an internet connectivity. And it also reveals that just how smart these teachers are. That's why what we are doing, for example, uh, in our work, we are using this kind of smart campus system wherein soon it will interconnect other departments or offices to process uh, other related activities. And part of it, you can use this one to demo features of the software, create movies if there's a need, then track the progress if you're still uh, part of it. And then other websites for education, of course, this is the following website where we can get some information about technology platform, the resources, evidence, and other things. It really helped us a lot. It also provides e-learning, the particular web or video courses in this particular area, and you will be able to see that your work has already been cited. Okay, so other useful websites for education, for example, we have the e-learning. Okay, we have the virtual lab, we have the spoken tutorial. So these things can really help us to achieve the purpose of why uh, it is important to be present always in our activities. And part of it, using ITC tools can also give benefits. No? It can empower teachers and learning, which I mentioned a while ago. It can be more creative, can solve problems, and in information processing skills from the input process, the process, and the output process, wherein it can readily say that this institution is an educational uh, research that integrates technology, connectivity, and other content and human resources. So it's very important to use this kind of technology. And of course, the promotion of the digital transformation or the background of these topics that ICT in education expected to improve the quality of education through high quality of digital teaching, and this one can help us to be prepared of what is needed to be done, and it improves learning efficiency. Why? Because nowadays we are using a lot of simulations. Okay, it improves students' learning efficiency for the past, and it would be able to help us to continue because of using this platform. And before I end up, because I want to invite you guys that I will be having a call for book chapter and call for research under my publication company, which is we publish articles and we publish book chapters. So if you are interested, you can visit the site or you can get some information which is really needed. So these are the references of my presentation. So if you have any questions, feel free to ask me. Okay, so that would be all on my part as your mentor. Thank you, and once again, good uh, afternoon.
Thank you very much, Dr. Roilan. I really enjoyed this session and the way you explained each and everything was so great. I like the way you explained even not only the ICT role, but particularly the plagiarism. That what is the role of plagiarism, and for that purpose, how the bibliometric analysis through authors, through journals, through publication, all these things you included. I love the way you just included that it is not important for the student, but also important for the instructor, the teachers as well, and they need to improve their skills, particularly related to technology. That how can they take advantage out of it and to improve their learning efficiency and transmit it to the student. I like the way you just showed different software, different apps where the students and teacher can learn a lot. I like the mind mapping software, which is very wonderful. And all these things are your wonderful exposures towards the different things. And very nicely, you have talked about the augmented reality and virtual reality, the online learning, and the impression that how ICT is actually facilitating us, and we need to change ourselves in order to grow and to update our skills. So very nice. Thank you very much. As
Thank you.
expected, that you will be delivering a wonderful lecture on that, and I like the way you design the content. I appreciate the way you just mentioned your book call, and I would request our viewers that please do visit the website in order to get the more information. They can connect with the Dr. Proilan, and they can connect with us as well for further information. We will be happy to provide you people regarding the information. Since you have covered much of stuff in your wonderful content and slides, there is one question which is very interesting, and since you are the expert, you will be in great position to tell us about the future of the ICT. So they want to ask that what potential future development in ICT do you foresee influencing educational research in the coming years? Yes, please.
Maybe the use of the artificial intelligence, sir, that can be
Oh,
used remotely, especially there are some cases right now that the common problems of the technology, those are the challenges. For example, in the remote areas, what be the role of future development in ICT? Maybe if they will be, if the developers will think of a particular platforms that can support the adequacy and continuity of using this platform in remote places. For example, in mountains wherein there are some uh, people that needs to uh, continue with their educations that needs to help, maybe those are more important possible potential future developments in ICT to be addressed by, of course, by our government. For example, in the Philippines, one major problems that we still facing right now is in rural places, the common problems that we are facing is the internet connectivity. So I think the a particular group can help us in strengthening, of course, the connectivity to, to those students or to those people that might be able to use this as part of their advocacy in doing research or continuing with this with their studies.
yeah, very nice, sir. Thank you very much, Dr. Proilan. Overall, it was a great session once again with you, and as it was expected that you will come up with the wonderful experiences and exposure which you will share with our audience from around the globe. I really appreciate your contribution to the field and world, and this is how everyone should be contributing back to the society. Whatever we have learned, we should pass it to the next generation, and particularly to the upcoming teachers, the instructors, the students, that how can they take benefit out of it. Thank you. And now you know that at the end of the session, we ask our each guest regarding their message to the world. So, what would
Of
be your message to the world this time as a speaker, author, teacher, researcher, trainer, learner, and educator? Yes, please.
So maybe my message is don't stop learning. So continue with the lifelong learning activity, just like what I'm doing. I'm still in the process of learning process, studying my third masters in other program, which can benefit for us as a learner, and we would be able to achieve on that once we have be able to finish with the particular courses, and that would be great achievement on us as an advocate on that particular topic.
Wow, what a wonderful message you have given to the world this time. Continuous learning is the only key to improve ourselves and to contribute more to the world and to the society. So, thank you very much once again, and to the audience that please do follow our distinguished guest speaker through his research work, and you can email him for future learning and guidance. He's very generous and always ready to help the people. So that's all we have time for today. And thank you once again, Professor Dr. Surilan Mogo, for your precious time and for your wonderful session. And I would
Yes.
like to thank our audience who joined us. If you have any additional questions about information should you be, please email us or connect to the speaker directly through his email or social media. Thank you all for your support and liking our session. Stay tuned as many sessions are on the way. Please do not miss any session. The next session, take care.